What's up, guys? We're back. Finally, after about a week. I was pretty busy over that Friday and then the weekend and all that end of last week, and then I got sick. But I'm finally back. Scheme is still working the same. Got some new players. We got Vic maxed out, Peyton Hillis, and for the most part, everything's really the same. I don't have a hot route or slot apprentice anymore because I've been running the ball more, and it's kind of affected my offense a little bit, but not majorly. But anyway, I've also been playing the event for Zero Chill. This event, I think I've made it to 6 or 7 wins, but I've been going on pretty good stretches. I have about 12 or 15 lavishes. Still haven't gotten an LTD lavish, but for the most part, there's that. I think I might have won a Super Bowl, but I got 1.6 mil. Play the event. This playbook works really good in the event because most people don't expect you to run the ball with your quarterback too much. But for today's video, we're going to be going into situational shotgun sets. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. It's going to be a goal line really short, and then going over some of the options. So we'll get into that. So as you can see, we're going to be in practice mode. The formations we're going to be going over: heavy Raven, empty quads, spread double flex, both bunch open and bunch Y, and where we at? I've gone over deuce close. Here it is. And split wing nasty. So as you can tell, heavy Raven is just going to be a lot of QB, just straight up the gut really. Split wing nasty is going to get real heavy in a shotgun set, and mainly going to be calling the read option. And over here, bunch Y flex, we have our RPOs. Bunch offset, same thing, RPOs. Spread double flex. This play right here, QB wrap, used to be one of the best plays. It might end up being better later in the year, but there's no really like super fast left tackles. And we also have read option. So empty quads, wide receiver screen, and QB blast. So for our first situational football and stuff like that, we're just going to go over all of our options, and then we'll go into short down and distance and goal line with heavy Raven, empty quads. So we'll start it off with split wing nasty. This is going to be really quick and simple. We'll go against just a regular set like this. So what's going on here? Every play has the motion, so everything's going to look the same. It's just a traditional read option in the end with the motion. So if the guy with the R above his head crashes down and plays, then you're going to keep it. And if you have jukebox or fast break, you're going to get some good blocks or make a move. If he sits, you're going to hand it off. And sometimes you're able to bounce it all the way to the outside, but majority of the time you're going to have to fit it like right between the tackles. So we're going to read this. It's on Hendricks. And he sits, so we're going to hand it off. And this one we're going to go out. You know, you make your plays, do all that stuff. So really, really simple. I'll do it again, but I think the way the practice mode is set up, he's going to play. Oh, there we go. Then we can keep it. If you have jukebox, skirt, just like that. So, especially if they're in a man coverage. I think if they're in a man coverage, it works even better. But after that, the power O is essentially the same thing, but it's just going to be running the ball. I think this one you're going to have to fit it up. Sometimes you cut up and do it like that. But that's really it. I call this play, I don't call it too much, but usually if it's like a 2nd and 4, I'd say 2nd and mid, you can usually get good run plays out of this. I wouldn't really call it too much on first down because your opponent probably is not going to end up pass committing, but 2nd and mid to 2nd and long, you know, you might be able to catch them in a pass commit and just take it all the way. But that's going to be it for split wing nasty, read option, and power O. So we're going to go ahead and get into the next formation and plays. Our next formation is going to be in spread double flex. gun, spread, double flex. This is the read option. Same thing. You can run it base. Just try and quickly do it. Usually your receivers can get good runoffs. Another thing I like to do is just motion in my outside receiver. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And as you can tell, it's man coverage right here. And so if you can get to the outside on this, which you're going to have to hand it off, same thing applies. If he sits, you hand it off. If he crashes, you keep it. Really basic read option stuff. But right here, especially versus man, if your receivers can get to just like that, you see how they block him inside? You have all this room out here, and you're gonna get really good blocks usually, unless they have like really big, heavy corners out there. But this is it base, and then we're gonna keep it. And Vic fumbled. Wow, that's another thing. Sometimes you can try and extend the play, but it's a quarterback, and they're usually not always gonna just hold the ball. Sometimes they'll fumble to something stupid. So be careful when you're calling these kind of plays. But now we're gonna go ahead and go into QB wrap. Okay, so QB wrap is essentially a quarterback power. So your left tackle is gonna be pulling, and your running back is gonna be getting the unblocked guy on the left. So it's like a play action kind of. Really just a read option, but there's no read key. You're just always keeping it. Be careful if there's an inside stuff to the side you're running to. Sometimes it'll blow it up. In this case, the inside stuff is on the left. So we're kind of chilling. I'm not too sure about no outsiders if that stops it. But you can always hit it with the same like this. And if you've just been handing the ball off a lot, then this play can get pretty glitchy. You really need your running back to get the backside dude. That way you can accelerate out of there. Because, I mean, that's Terry Tate out there. And this is 94 speed, 93 Excel Mike Vick. And as you can see, the left tackle sometimes is too slow. And which it is Trent Brown. So make sure you have a pretty speedy left tackle, I would say. I mean, you can get by usually. But look, see how he kind of bounces off because he's not fast enough to get there. But for the majority of the time, this play does work. I would call this usually before you start doing the read option. So this might be like your first play most of the time. And then after that, just start calling read option majority of the time because then they're going to start playing it. But if it's working for you, obviously, don't fix something that's not broken, you know? And for the rest of the formation, there's not really too much out of the passing. I mean, you have your standard 4 verts. You could do something like this, probably. Same stuff, like if it's cover 3 and the corner's backed off, just a quick hit like that. But that's really going to be it for this. Now we're going to go into our RPO stuff and our bunch Y flex and bunch open offset. So, see you there. Okay, so this play is in gun bunch open offset. It's the RPO read bubble. So if you watch the gun deuce close video, it's the same thing. So you have your RPO that you can throw, and then the guy with the R above it is your read key to be able to do it like a read option. So you can throw the ball to 2 people, and you can run the ball with your quarterback or your running back. So we're just going to read it. This is obviously a zone. Otherwise, it would be more lined up with the receivers. So usually we're being be able to throw it versus zone. And with the bubble, kind of like in our trips tight end video, just be careful throwing the bubble. Don't want to throw it too early, otherwise they'll do a 360 no scope sometimes. You want to be able to hit them in stride and then be able to make moves like that. So make sure you have a good receiver that has shiftiness available. You don't want a big clunky guy. So now we're going to look at this out route. It's not my favorite, but it does work. If you're confident throwing it, go ahead. I mean, like it can do good. It can do good for you, especially if they're not playing it. That's really it for the passing. So when we're reading this, obviously it says run, hold, snap. You're only gonna hold it if he sits. So now we're just gonna take away the RPO, the passes. This is just a read option now, basically. So he sits. We're gonna hand it off. Try and make a move just like that. Make sure you have jukebox with a running back who gets a good juke animation. It really saved you. So he's going to sit. You're going to hand it off. We'll see if he'll come down so you can run with the quarterback. And this is versus a zone look. If it's man coverage, most likely the defense is going to play the bubble. The out route is a risky throw, but you still have this. I'll keep it with the quarterback no matter what this next play, since he's not crashing down. But yeah, just like that. And you can still throw the ball too, but I'd be careful because you might get an illegal man down the field. So you can do something like that, but I don't think it's worth it to do that. Just make sure you're watching your read key. So that's going to be it for this RPO. You can call this really whenever. Maybe you're getting boxed and you need some space. Just spread out the defense like this. You have 4 different options to go with the ball. The bubble, the out, quarterback, and running back. So just do what you got to do. And that's really going to be it for this play. RPO read bubble screen, but it's going to be with the trap. I don't like calling the inside zone one because I think traps work a little bit better. So instead of a bubble on the right side, we're going to have a screen, the same out route, and then there's no read option. It's just going to be a trap. So your left guard is pulling in this case if it's to this side. So Joe Tippmann, if you have him, I don't know any other fast left guards or guards in general, but I have Tippmann at right guard, and my left guard is the Bruce Matthews from the field pass. So we're just going to work the screen first. It's not the greatest, especially if they kind of like sit there and your receivers don't go for the block. I don't normally throw the screen, but you know, if it works for you, if they're playing really backed off, sometimes it can work. The out route's probably your better throw here. As I said, if you're fully confident in the out route, go ahead and just throw it, especially if they're backed up like this and it's zone. So now I'm gonna show you the trap. This is why I like traps. Excuse my phone, because usually if you can trap that D tackle into like just not being there, you're gonna be getting good yardage up the field. So just like this, especially since it's so spread out, and if it's man coverage, there's only gonna be like 1 or 2 guys in the box most of the time. So that's why I really like this. I would set this play to an audible, and then that way you can audible from bunch. So instead of RPO peak zone, RPO peak wide receiver screen, and bunch open offset, I would set my audible to this one with the trap. And then when you're in like gun bunch and everything, you can audible to this and have a good trap play. So there's really 2 good trap plays in this playbook. The one out of deuce close and this one. So make sure you're using those. So now we're going to go on to our next one. We're going to be in bunch Y flex, I believe. So see you then. And then bunch Y flex, you can see your bunch is a little more close and your running back is on the other side. But this is really just the same thing. Bubble route out here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Might not be as good since the way your receivers are aligned and they go in, but I like to run out of this, the zone, because it's more spread out and you get to run to the strong side. So just like this, I mean, make a move. If you get 4 yards, you get 4 yards. I don't really spend too much time in bunch Y flex, so that's really it. I mean, you have your out route out here. That's always going to be pretty good unless they know how to stop it, which the only way I've known how to stop it is either manning it up with like this outside guy on the edge or putting like a 0-yard curl flat from your interior guy, and by the time they chase it over there, they can get it. But nobody's really going to do that unless they're me, and you know. But that's going to be it for this. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our goal line packages. So not really goal line, but short down and distance. I usually call it on the goal line. So, you know, if it's 4th and 2, 3rd and 2, goal line, 2 yards to go, that's what we're going to be going into. So I'll see you with those plays. Gun heavy and gun empty something. Okay, as you can see, we're right here on the goal line. This play is going to be QB power out of gun heavy Raven. It's your first formation in gun heavy. And this is going to get your left guard pulling. And then, so your running back is going to be kind of like a lead blocker. He's going to go up and block. Your left guard's pulling. And everyone else is just blocking. So this is the play by itself. If you have jukebox or fast break on your quarterback, you usually get to get in there. I like this play call if they like severely pinch their D-line and just go all up front. I like to motion over the fullback or whoever's out there, get an extra blocker like this, make a move. Usually you got open space. If they user to you and go on blocks, it's really just going to be whoever gets there first. I don't normally do it like this unless it's the QB blast because it just leaves that open. And I don't think you can flip the play. Let me see if you can. Okay, you can. So if you flip it and do something like this, it can work as long as you let your running back lead block a little bit quicker. So it does take some patience in this play. But for the next one, it's QB blast. So in here, it's just straight up the middle like this. What I'll do is I like to dive. Usually, if it's condensed, like if there's just a big pile right there, just dive. Because if you juke, you'll probably get stuck on someone. I'll motion this guy in like this still. Get you an extra blocker right up front. Bang, go over the pile. So make sure you don't want to be doing this with like Joe Flacco or something, obviously, or a slow quarterback because you need someone who can get out of it quick. Whoops, I need motion to QB blast. There's not too much I do out of this. You can still flip which way you blast, but outside of that, nothing too crazy. You can always pass out of it if you call this 2 times in a row and they run commit, then you have this mesh sit. Usually you want to block at least 1 or 2 of your tight ends, and you can sometimes hit the running back on the wheel route like super quick. But you're really just doing this for those 2 yards because you're honestly probably, if you do this far out and it's not a short down and distance, like you need to pick up 2 or 3 yards, you'll probably get wrapped up within 7 yards. So, and it's with your quarterback, so you might fumble. So this formation is just all getting in the end zone, basically. Just getting those short yards. So that's going to be it for this. Now we're going to go into our gun empty set, which is going to be the last formation. So I'll see you with 2 really good plays out of that. So the first play out of gun empty quads, which is going to be the last formation in shotgun. So heavy Raven was the first one. It's like 1 out of 17 or 20 or whatever. So this one is the very last one. So we're going to have a screen route out here and a slant. So it's really a screen, but sometimes you get like good blocks and you can just sit there and let it develop. It's not like a halfback screen where you're just letting everyone come in. They're actually going to sit there and block. And you'll have 3 receivers out here blocking for you. Sometimes you can take off like this. And if you have a right-handed quarterback, you can make that throw. I'll flip it to show you what I've done in the past. So sometimes what I'll do like this, I don't ever throw that slant route because it's always pressed and usually my receivers aren't like quick enough off to get it. So as you can see right there, Akeem Talib made a good play. That's why sometimes you have to throw it quick, otherwise they might get off their blocks. I usually go maybe 1 Mississippi, throw it. If it's covered, you just have to make a play out of it. But you can also scramble pretty easy, especially on the goal line. And then after this play, we're going to have QB blast. So it's essentially the same as gun heavy Raven, just going to be a straight shot forward, just like that. I like to dive out of it sometimes if it gets pile. If the pile's condensed, just don't try and juke. Just try and dive over it. Because, wrong play. Because sometimes when you juke, you get caught on someone, and then next thing you know, you get hit and you might fumble. So be really careful. So like, see, and Michael Vick does his stupid juke animation. But look, why is he doing it like that? Gosh, see, he fumbles like that, and I don't know. It can get hectic, but I'm gonna show you diving over, and then we'll go ahead and close out the video. So just like that, you dive across the goal line. And so if they stack the box, so say they come out like a 4-3 stack, or just get a bunch of players in the box to stop the QB blast, that's when I'll throw the screen. But if it's real spread out like this, I mean, they've got one linebacker lined up right there, you're usually going to win that, especially if you have fast break. So that's going to be it for this. I'm going to try and crunch out some videos, like super quick. Let's go ahead and go into the playbook. I'm going to try and crunch out a few videos over the next few days to try and catch up. But that's really going to be it for all our shotgun sets. Sorry it took a while to do this. Just stick with me. Don't give up on me. I'm trying not to screw this up. But when we come to pistol, we're going to be in pistol strong slot, U-off trips, and a little bit of bunch. Not too much bunch. Then after that, single back. I'm not going to do I-form because it's just not as good as I want it to be. And that's going to be it for the full Ravens playbook after those. So be looking for maybe, I'll probably do a full video on strong and strong slot. Then U-off trips and bunch might combine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Look for 4 new videos coming out. And then I saw some comments that you guys wanted me to do some gameplay of it. And I can definitely do that. So what I might do is just after this video finishing the shotgun, I might drop a shotgun just gameplay video of me playing, and then I'll go into pistol. And once I finish everything in pistol, I'll show you me playing in only pistol, and then I'll show you me playing in only single back after that. And my internet's really not good enough to live stream, but I can try it. Don't count on a live stream though. So, but yeah, that's gonna be it. Just make sure to stick with me. Comment if you have questions. If you want to see any video going over more specific things. If you're struggling beating something, I can make a quick little short, probably. And so yeah, I'm here for you. Just let me know what you need. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I'll see you soon.